QED Productions presents Drugs in Our Society. Filmstrip 2, Alcohol, Decisions About Drinking. One of the earliest discoveries of primitive man was the strange effects that occurred when he drank the fermented juices of certain fruits. Man had discovered that the natural biological process of fermentation of grape and coconut juices produced alcohol. In many countries, primitive beers and wines were used as medicines or in religious rites. During the Middle Ages, people in Arabic countries discovered a way to concentrate the alcohol by boiling or distilling it. They used alcohol in their religious ceremonies and named it after their word for spirits. Chemically, it is called ethyl alcohol. It contains an OH group common to all other types of alcohol. Other members of the alcohol family contain this special chemical group. These are almost all poisonous, although many have industrial uses as solvents, disinfectants, and antifreeze agents. Ethyl alcohol is formed by the process of fermentation. Naturally occurring sugars and starches found in grapes or grain plants are acted upon by certain yeasts. The result of the fermentation process is alcohol and bubbles of carbon dioxide gas. Because grains are used to make ethyl alcohol, it is also known as grain alcohol. Fermentation by itself will produce alcohol up to a concentration of 12 or 14%. Above this level, the disinfectant properties of the alcohol kill the yeast, and the process stops. There are three general types of alcoholic beverages. The berries of the hop plant, plus grain and malt, are fermented with yeast, often called brewer's yeast, to produce the drink commonly known as beer. Beer usually contains about 4 or 5% alcohol. Wines are made from the fermentation of grapes. Wines contain from 12 to 20% alcohol. Fortified wines are made stronger by adding additional alcohol. Wines have different names and flavors, depending upon the type of grape and where it is grown. More concentrated alcoholic beverages are called hard liquors or spirits. To produce these, grain alcohol is obtained by fermenting cereals such as rye, corn, wheat, or barley. The mixture is then heated. Because ethyl alcohol is boiled away at a lower temperature than water, it escapes first and is collected by cooling. This process is known as distillation. Distilled liquors usually contain about 40 to 50% alcohol. This is indicated by a proof number, which is twice the percentage of the alcohol. 80 proof liquor contains 40% alcohol, 100 proof contains 50%, and so forth. In addition to grain alcohol, minute amounts of other chemical substances, collectively known as fusel oil, help to give various types of liquor their distinctive color and taste. Because of the differences in concentration, an ounce of whiskey, a glass of wine, and a mug of beer all have approximately the same alcohol content. Now let us consider the effects of alcohol on the human body. Whether the drink is beer, wine, or hard liquor, the physiologic effects are those of ethyl alcohol. The first effect may be noted in the mouth and throat. Concentrated alcohol, such as whiskey, usually causes a burning sensation as it is swallowed. With more dilute alcohol, such as beer, wine, and mixed drinks, the burning sensations are not noticed. The alcohol reaches the stomach, where some of it, about 20%, is absorbed directly into the bloodstream. Concentrated drinks, such as whiskey, are absorbed more quickly than diluted drinks, such as beer. If there is food present in the stomach, absorption of alcohol is delayed. The remaining alcohol passes into the small intestine, where it is completely absorbed. Nearly all of the alcohol finally reaches the bloodstream within 1 hour after drinking. Therefore, rapid drinking of large quantities of alcohol will result in greater concentration of alcohol in the blood. Alcohol is broken down or oxidized through various metabolic processes. The first step takes place in the liver, where alcohol is changed to acetaldehyde. Following this, many tissues of the body complete the oxidization, changing the acetaldehyde into smaller compounds. Very little alcohol is excreted by the kidneys into the urine, although alcohol itself will stimulate the kidneys to produce extra urine. This water-loosing process is known as diuresis. Alcohol, in this regard, exerts a diuretic action. Small amounts of alcohol are excreted through the sweat glands and in the breath, often noticeable to others. Although alcohol contains no minerals, vitamins, or proteins, it may be considered a food because it does have some caloric value. Calories are a measure of the energy contained in a food substance. Alcohol contains approximately 7 calories per gram. Fats contain 9 calories per gram. Sugars and proteins contain 4 calories per gram. Because of the high caloric content of alcohol, some heavy drinkers become fat, even though they may be severely lacking in proteins and vitamins. The effects of alcohol upon the individual and his body are directly related to the amount of alcohol in the blood reaching the brain. This concentration is usually expressed as a percentage. If a large man and a small man both drink the same amount, the smaller man will of course have a higher alcohol concentration in the blood. Tests have been developed that measure the alcohol of the breath, which is proportional to the amount of alcohol in the blood. Blood tests may also be used to measure the concentration directly. Blood levels 0.05 to 0.1% alcohol cause most individuals to show signs of intoxication. In many states, 0.15% alcohol is considered legal evidence of intoxication and causes marked mental and physical symptoms. When the blood alcohol level reaches 0.3%, a person becomes unaware of his surroundings and is totally incapable of controlling his actions. At an alcohol level of 0.4%, the drinker is rendered totally unconscious. If the total blood concentrate reaches 0.5% or more, death is likely to occur because of interference with breathing, which is regulated by the brain. In its physiological effects on the body, alcohol acts as a depressant. Some people erroneously believe that alcohol is a stimulant, because after taking 1 or 2 drinks, individuals may become more talkative, excited, and exhibit stimulated behavior. This is because alcohol depresses first the highest centers of the brain. This uppermost area of the brain controls judgment and social behavior. When it is depressed by alcohol, the individual experiences a relief from his anxieties and cares and may become much more active and outgoing. As more alcohol is consumed and the blood concentration of alcohol increases, further mental effects occur. There may be an increasing sense of happiness and contentment. In many, there is slurring of speech and of thoughts. Other people with this same concentration of alcohol become moody or sleepy. The effects of alcohol vary from person to person and may be different in any individual on different occasions. As drinking continues, mental functions change further. Judgment becomes distorted, and people begin to take chances they would not normally take. Often the results are damaging or dangerous and are usually regretted the next day. Along with a decrease in good judgment, physical reactions are slowed. Presented with an emergency situation, the intoxicated driver is much slower to react and avoid trouble. Alcohol also impairs coordination, making simple tasks difficult. Memory is weakened considerably. Very often, an individual cannot remember at all what he did during the previous night of drinking. High concentrations of alcohol cause muscles to become badly coordinated. The individual will often stumble and fall. The muscles in the eye are weakened, so that blurring of vision and double vision occur. Often the field of view is decreased. Other body functions are disturbed by alcohol. Moderate amounts cause the heart rate and pulse to increase. The blood pressure is also increased. Alcohol causes an enlargement of blood vessels in the skin. This reddens the skin and makes it warm. When swallowed, high concentrations of alcohol stimulate gastric acid and irritate the stomach lining, often leading to ulcers and severe gastric inflammation. Following heavy drinking, the individual often experiences severe symptoms, commonly known as a hangover. These symptoms include nausea, vomiting, and headaches. It is believed the hangover headache is caused in part by an enlargement of the blood vessels within the brain. An individual who uses alcohol over many years may develop some tolerance. This sometimes allows the experienced drinker to consume more than the beginner before reaching the same level of intoxication. While alcohol is not addicting in the same way that narcotics are, the psychological dependence becomes a habit. Persons who use alcohol to escape the cares and worries of everyday life soon find that alcohol itself is causing most of their problems. People who develop such severe alcohol habits that they cannot lead normal lives are called alcoholics. Alcoholism is now regarded as an illness and is one of this country's most urgent health problems. In individuals who have used alcohol heavily over many years, severe physical damage occurs. Often the liver is enlarged by fat droplets within each liver cell, a so-called fatty liver. A more serious disease occurs as a result of the excess growth of fibrous connective tissue within the liver. This causes enlargement and hardening of the liver, which is called cirrhosis, and is the cause of death in many chronic alcoholics. Changes in the brain may also occur as a result of chronic alcoholism. In a mental syndrome known as Korsakoff's psychosis, insanity results from actual deterioration of brain tissue. More commonly, the alcoholic patient suffers from delirium tremens, or DTs. In this disorder, hallucinations occur in which the patient imagines that he sees and is even being attacked by animals, snakes, and insects. It is estimated that at least 1/5 of all admissions to mental hospitals are the result of these alcoholic diseases. In the United States, many thousands of individuals die each year as a result of cirrhosis and other alcohol-related diseases. Alcohol represents a severe problem to some 5 or 6 million Americans. Alcohol is often a factor in many cases of serious accidents and injury. The cost of caring for those who are injured or become ill due to alcohol is enormous. It has been estimated that alcohol is directly related to at least 20% of all major crimes, especially crimes of violence. 4 out of every 5 fatal traffic accidents involves drivers or pedestrians who have been drinking. Jails are filled with people convicted of public drunkenness. This alone kills or injures more than 1 million Americans each year. Yet, in spite of these many dangers and frequent disasters, alcohol continues to be an important part in the life of many citizens and an important part of the country's economy. The American public spends more than $13 billion each year on alcoholic beverages. It is little wonder these products are advertised in such enthusiastic terms. The use of alcohol is a well-established part of our culture to persons who are able to use it in moderation. For many, alcohol causes severe damage to mental and physical health, leading to despair and ruined careers. No person, as he begins drinking, imagines that he will wind up in this condition. Yet this happens to many too often.